Hey everybody, it's Jason Blah here. You guys know what time it is. Time to talk about current events in the online fitness community. And for those of you who say, Jason, I don't like these kind of videos, you saw the title of the video when you clicked on it? For you mobile bros, that's down below. But for those of you who do like these videos, please remember to click a like to offset those dislikes. And something came through my feed from Kinobody, aka Greg O'Gallagher, aka Kinobody, aka the Bruce Wayne of the fitness industry. And he was saying, hey guys, here's what's happened to Natty Verified. So let me go ahead and put on my +5 hat of Speechcraft and let's talk about this. I kind of can sympathize with Greg on this one, guys. I can sympathize because I was one of the first people on YouTube way back in the day to kind of do how to spot a fake natty. And because to me, I've been in the iron game a very long time. I've been around a lot of dudes who use gear. And to me, and to a lot of other people, it's blaringly obvious. We don't need a test to look at different guys and go, yeah, this guy's stacking trend and anadrol, right? I mean, we look at them while everyone else is asking if they're natty or not. We're looking at it and go, yeah, it looks like he started his anadrol about a week ago. You know, I mean, it's like, for all of us, it's blaringly obvious. But there's so much fakery out there that a lot of people, they don't get it, and they just don't see it, they don't understand. And so they want help in finding these things. And realistically, I came to the conclusion at this point, having done this for years, having been around gear, being able to just spot it intuitively and just know. And it's not a big deal, guys. It really isn't. It's like when you do that, people think that you're being a dick. It's like, how do you not notice? How do you not notice when the dude in your gym adds trend to his stack who you train next to? Like, how can you not notice? I mean, it's like, and it's not because I'm looking, because I really don't care. But I started it because to me these things were obvious after having been around this stuff for so many years. It's blaringly obvious that you shouldn't need someone to tell you, and I thought I would try to give signs and explain it years ago, and people don't get it. And here's what I would say. The only way people are going to understand is when they get experience, and because there's always going to be a bunch of new young people coming in who've been around training and gear and stuff for less than 3 or 4 years, less than 5 years. They just don't have the experience. They're never going to know. They're always going to be suckers. And they're going to get ripped off by a few people, and they're going to learn their lesson like everyone else does. This industry is just ripe with con men. There's nothing you can do about it. And what Greg had pointed out, you know, he wanted to help people with that. He wanted to create a movement, but he felt there were problems with it. Number one, it was turning into a witch hunt. And that is exactly what I went through years ago. Like, I started this, and then it did turn into a witch hunt. Then it turned into lawsuits and stuff. Like, people actually getting upset because I said, hey, you're a fake natty. Actually, that was one of the lawsuit. That was actually the secondary cause. There was actually, the research was the bigger one. But because I called them a fake natty, and they were a fake natty, there's no doubt about that. Like, no reasonable person is going to disagree with that. A lot of you say, I will. Well, no, you're not reasonable. You're either a sellout or you're stupid. But it turns into lawsuits because then it's like, well, my family got threatened by a troll on the internet because I was called out for being a fake natty. And so it turns into this witch hunt, and that's part of the problem you have. And it goes from trying to just help people so that they don't get ripped off, because that's literally all it is. Hey, you know, maybe don't get ripped off. Don't go buy this supplement because this person claims it helps them, right? That's trend. That's not branched chain amino acids. And you do that, and people will say, well, you know, but that's not good enough. It's not good enough to stop people from being ripped off. I have to harass this person. And you guys see the problem? It does turn into a witch hunt because people don't know how to behave themselves. And believe me, guys, I've been on the receiving end of my own share of stalking and witch hunts, and that is the reality. That's what people do. They go crazy with it. And that is the unfortunate reality of the internet, is that if you have any sort of outreach and you call somebody out, they're literally going to get stalked for it. They will get stalked for that. Let me put it this way. There is 100% chance they're going to deal with harassment as a result of it. And it will possibly go into the real world from a single call out against a person, up to the point to where their family members may be harassed because someone called them out for something on the internet, just on some BS or lie or scam or joke or something. Right? That's how it works. That's how it works. Literally calling somebody a fake natty could be enough to cause their sister or their mother to be stalked at their home, because people are crazy and insane. So the problem is these things do turn into a witch hunt. They do turn into a witch hunt, unfortunately, and he's right. It is a problem. And the other thing that he ran into was this situation of there's no way to develop anything foolproof. And I'll admit that. Like, people say, oh, Greg seems to have money. Greg doesn't have that type of money. And I'll give you guys an example of why this isn't full. There is no foolproof. Nobody, no human being on the face of the earth has enough money to make it foolproof. You say, what do you mean? What if I threw $1 billion at it? That's not enough. Go to the 2012 Olympic Games, right? There are probably as many fitness personalities selling products online as there are Olympic athletes, right? That's pretty fair. I could be off. Let's say they're probably in the same loose range, right? Probably just as many, probably close to. Like, a lot of Olympic athletes are selling fitness stuff online. The 2012 Olympic Games, anyone know what the doping testing ran? Do anyone know what the bill was? If I recall, it was approximately $4 billion. Okay? I'll state that again. $4 billion. Not million. 1,000 times that. Not 4 million. Multiply that times 1,000. $4 billion was spent. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb and say, do we really need to spend $4 billion because people are too stupid not to buy meal plans from some guy who uses Tren and Anavar? Do we really need to spend $4 billion because some stupid 16-year-old kid thinks branched chain amino acids work because his hero told him that that's what helped him? I don't think so. It's ridiculous. And it didn't even work. People say, what do you mean? What do you mean it didn't work? They caught people. They did. But $4 billion, right? And remember what came out in the news in 2013? So we're going to backtrack way back 6 years ago. 2013. For a single anabolic that was developed in the 1970s named Turinabol. Okay? Actually, it's always been a really, really effective for tested athletes because it actually has a very, very short detection window. And there's stuff way, 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 way more effective for that today because this is developed in the 70s. For Turinabol, they developed a new test in 2013 for Turinabol that didn't exist in 2012. So $4 billion was spent in 2012, but they had a bunch of urine samples. When they went back and tested a year later with the frozen urine samples, athletes who were clean on the $4 billion worth of testing done the year before with a new test, a new metabolite test, they found 200 positives in those year-old frozen urine samples for Turinabol just using a new test they developed. Okay, so they know for a fact 200 Olympic athletes came up clean after $4 billion of testing. $4 billion! A new test gets developed in the frozen samples. They know for a fact those 200 people slid through the $4 billion testing and passed it. Who they know for a fact it was in their urine. Because newer technology devised a new test. So if you have a case like that of $4 billion being spent to test these athletes, and then it turns out that we know for a fact 200 of them still used an actual anabolic steroid that passed through the testing anyways, that passed after the $4 billion spent. In what world? And guys, these are people who were tested randomly. They showed up at their homes at 2 in the morning and pulled blood, urine, and stuff like that. In what world do you think anyone is going to be able to fund a bunch of fitness personalities to get them tested on that level, even though it won't even work? Like, how are you going to devise a system for that? At a certain point, you got to look at it and go, how about people just use some common sense and look at that guy and go, yeah, that guy's not natty. Maybe I shouldn't buy his branched chain amino acids because he's claiming natty. He doesn't look natty. He's claiming the branched chain amino acids got him there, and the meta-analysis show they don't build any muscle at all. I mean, can't we just use some common sense? And if someone is too stupid to use some common sense, maybe they deserve to be ripped off. Maybe they deserve it. I mean, let's be realistic here. You see a guy who obviously uses trend, trying to sell you a product that the research says doesn't work and you're stupid enough to buy it, maybe you deserve to lose that money. I mean, that's another opinion. That's another possibility. But, you know, it really is that bad. And what I mean is that when people really listen to guys, it's like you have people on the internet who don't know anything about this stuff, and they say, oh, yeah, that guy uses something. Okay. But when you actually talk to these guys, and Brandon Harding and guys like that, when you see what they were doing, you realize, oh, my God, it's not just something. It's a list this long. And everyone's got this idea in their head that, oh, yeah, it's the IFBB pros. That's using gear. When you have guys, these other guys who use a list of stuff this long, what do you think the IFBB guys are using? How much stuff do you think they're on? Because when you meet a lot of guys who end up being 180, 190 pounds when they're ripped, these aren't mass monsters, guys. These aren't mass monsters. But they have that look, and people are like, oh yeah, they maybe use a little something to get that look. Then you actually talk to them and find out. And they will literally be like, well, let's see, I use a little bit of test, and I use trend as my base, and that helps me, you know, burn fat and keep my muscle mass, because trend helps maintain muscle really, really, really well during a caloric deficit. And then I starve myself on 1,800 calories, right? But I also use Clen because the Clen's a fat burner, and it helps keep me stimulated to make it through my workouts because I have no energy left. And I also use T3 because my metabolism would slow down and it would downregulate due to running 1,800 calories at my size. But the T3 keeps my metabolism from slowing down, so I keep losing body fat while doing 2 hours of cardio a day on 1,800 calories. And the trend helps me hold on to my muscle. But then when I start getting more and more fatigued and I'm getting flat and I need even more muscle retention, I throw anadrol in because it helps keep my muscles fuller and it gives me a better pump and helps me get through my workout when I'm on no food and I wouldn't be able to train. And then their list goes on and they just keep adding stuff, and before long it's a list this long, and you're like, dude, you're 185 pounds. And then everyone else says, oh yeah, man, that guy, he looks real good at 185. He's real aesthetic, man. He gets super lean. His cardio must be on point. And it's like he needs test, trend, T3, Clen, anadrol, everything else in order to even do the diet and the cardio he does to be able to actually function. It's not his diet and cardio routine. Dude's over here losing 2 pounds a week, and he's not morbidly obese. Okay, that should be your dead giveaway. All right, there's your dead giveaway. Right there. A guy is losing 2 pounds a week who isn't really, really fat. And by fat, I don't even mean where I'm at. I'm talking fat. They're losing 2 pounds a week, and they aren't losing mostly muscle. They're still able to train. There's your dead giveaway. There you go. 100% fake natty right there. Dude's down at 7% body fat, still able to train at 90% of the working weights and works and sets they were doing when they were bulking. Okay, there's your dead giveaway. Because when you start getting to body fats that low, you lose muscle like crazy. You lose strength like crazy. You are not keeping your muscle mass. Okay, there's your dead giveaway. Guy at 7% body fat who was doing sets of 8 with 315 on the bench in the off season, and he can still do 5 to 6 reps with 315 at 7% body fat while cutting. Okay, there's your dead giveaway. And then he actually seems happy and energetic and not crying over in the corner with severe depression and anxiety from being at that low of a body fat. Okay, there's your dead giveaway, guys. Some of this stuff shouldn't be that hard to figure out. So then the point comes over, well, am I going to be able to do that? No, you're not going to be able to do that. Right, there are a plethora, a stack of substances that person is using to be able to pull that off. And it's not just he's on something. He's on a bunch of somethings. So, I mean, at a certain point, some of this stuff should just be common sense. If you know anything about training and nutrition, at a certain point, some of this should be common sense. Now, let's see, the guy's losing 2 pounds of fat a week while maintaining performance and muscle mass. Okay, there's a dead giveaway that the guy's on a laundry list of stuff. Like, right? That shouldn't even be up for debate. If you know anything about training and nutrition, that one shouldn't even be up for debate. That should be a no-brainer. Guy's maintaining 95% of his strength at 7% body fat that he had at 14% body fat. And they're only 4 months apart. Okay, there you go. There's your dead giveaway. That guy's on a stack of stuff. He's not just on something. See how easy that is, guys? All right, guys, well, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.